tonight, but welcome. As a year of strangeness, and for many of you, the last time we had a chance to see each other was here at camp in 2019. After all that's going on, even though it's raining right now, we're 2 days into staff week, and it is really good to be back into the grind, frankly. Most people I recognize here on the call. My name is Pat Boyd. I'm the reservation director here at Webster. I'm heading into my 15th season as the camp director. Before Kawa says anything, it's not the years, it's the mileage. So that's the explanation.
I thought it was at least 25 years, Pat, but it just seems that way.
So our goal tonight is to kind of give you some last minute information to talk about some changes and things that we've done heading into camp from the COVID angle and get us ready for arrival for week 1 on Sunday. So I had sent an email to the contingent contacts who were registered as your contingent contacts earlier today that had a number of items packet-wise for this meeting. Some things that those of you that are returning would have been familiar with a folder that we had handed out that would have had afternoon activities signups, a chance to put down name tags for your unit leaders and some other information. And we put all that into nearly one electronic document to try to collect that data for you and have it ready to go. For Sunday. I can, if you did not receive that because you weren't the contact and maybe your contact did not forward it to you, I can drop some of that in the chat if it's helpful as time goes on there. So I don't know. Do I see thumbs up? Did people get the email with the packet today?
Yeah, but Pat, it just came out like an hour ago.
Yeah, it came out 2 hours ago, actually.
Oh.
Can't rush those things.
I
stand corrected. It was 2 hours. I'm incorrect.
You should look at the positive piece. Because if this were normal, you would not have gotten your folder with that information until you arrived.
I was astounded at the efficiency of it, Pat.
So again, what I had done to try to give you information was, as an attachment, was the full spread of what we have in the Black Pug system as registrations for camp. So you can sort down through. I couldn't figure out how to break it out by unit, but normally we would give you that roster, and you can see what's in the system at camp. And then, you know, we understand a lot of things. We're not the type of camp that says until you've paid on 100% in full, you can't walk in the door. We understand that in many cases you're still chasing down some parents, and we're going to settle up as time goes on from there. But as an attachment was the full doc for the week, so you can have a chance to compare some of those notes as well. So before I get too far into the business of this, I just want to introduce a few people that are here on the call. Representing our program director team is Erich Martin, a very familiar face. So Erich, if you just want to say hello.
Hello all.
He's very obedient. And they're all very accomplished computer folk, but they just opt to hang out behind me. Here in my office is our deputy director, Haas Haskell. If you want to jump up and say hello.
Hey gang, looking forward to seeing everyone on Sunday. Looks like a great week coming ahead. We've just been waiting so long to get that 200 plus scouts here. So welcome. Let us know how we can make it a better event for you.
Thank you, Haas. And our chief health officer, they are related, Gus Haskell. So Gus, you want to say hello?
Evening, everybody. I've spent the day going through paperwork, and I got to thank you all for everything that showed up here today. It's going to make our Sunday a little more easy, and I'm happy to say everybody filled in things that weren't filled in in 2019, and thank you all. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Sunday.
Yeah, so I want to thank you all too, because usually when Gus comes to see me to talk about the work of the Week 1 Scoutmasters, she's not smiling and all that. So I appreciate all of you doing a great job with their health form. So it's been good. Here in the background as well is Mike Holcomb. Mike is our, amongst many things, runs our adult leader training program, as well as is our chief of staff and keeps us all organized. Mike, you want to wave and say hello?
Hello there. Welcome back.
So, we want to be able to answer your questions and get everybody set from there. So I guess kind of the first thing is what's new at camp? Well, there's a lot of stuff that's new since we were here in 2019. We've grown our provisional program, the Thunderbirds, after a long time, have their own home, and we'll be actually moving into their new nest shortly here. Those of you that came in to do some of the health form work, you probably saw the Thunderbird cottages being worked on. And we have a great group the first week of camp, so we're looking forward to that. You probably read about and heard about, employee shortages and camps struggling to get a camp staff together. I'm pleased to report that even having been off a year, we have a great group of division heads and area directors with experience, and a lot of our younger junior staff have done a great job thus far. And they, I can kind of tell pretty quickly if they get it or not. And I've been very pleased since they've been here on Sunday through today and all that. So, I think we're sliding right back into where we need to be for camp this year. So the staff has been working all week. They're going to work through Saturday morning and be ready to go for Sunday on the facility piece. And also, since we were here last, Skippy has retired as a ranger, in Austin Deschamps, who admittedly we raised from a pup from a junior staff member in the dish room to be a ranger, has taken over that role and brought some of his new ideas into that as well. And he will continue the long-standing tradition of coffee delivery to units in the morning as well. So many camps have imitated, but the original is here of the ranger delivering coffee. So we look forward to seeing him. Chip was a little disappointed when I told him that Site 2 is the first stop in the morning, which is usually at 5:45, and that's before Chip gets up in the morning. So I think we might have his cup sitting on the stoop with instructions on it. So
Pat, does coffee come all the way out to site 11 and 12?
Coffee comes all the way out to sites 11 and 12. Absolutely. Just kind of working down the list here. And as we go along, if there's a question that you have that you think others may be interested in as well, just throw your hand up, or if you're like Kawa, just jump right in. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody monitoring the chat. I will do my best to do that going forward. But again, we want to answer questions. Some of you are old hands. Some of you are brand new at this. There's no stupid question. We just want to make sure that you're prepared to go for Sunday. So kind of the first thing to jump into is the question a lot of you have is, what has COVID done to camp, right? And so there's a few things that we've modified from what was in the program guide or what you're used to accommodate restrictions for COVID. So we'll do this in a game show. Who would like the good news or the bad news? What would you like first? The good news or the bad news?
Bad.
The bad news. Oh, okay. We'll do the bad news. So the bad news is we have to modify our dining facility and how we handle meals because of COVID. Those of you that know me, I'm a huge believer in family style meals and waiters and that whole process. But, we don't meet our guidelines by having a fully stuffed dining hall with 10 people per table in family style meals. It's something that we just cannot do. We cannot do this year. John Ayer, who was our food service director for about 10 years up through the 2018 season, has returned for 2021 as our food service director. So John is somebody who very much knows camp and knows this kitchen. He's assisted by a guy, Roger Nicholson, who's from the Groton area, who had a whole career as culinary arts in the U.S. Navy, and he's joined the team with Michelle there. And so we have some really experienced folks. And so our meals are basically going to run similar to the way that lunch runs. So we're going to have a breakfast period, and we're going to confirm the times because we're still playing with them a little bit based off the number of people that registered. So we'll say for conversational purpose today that breakfast is going to run from 7 a.m. Through 8:30 a.m. Okay, or 8:15. And at that point, your unit can come through at a time that that works for you. I think a lot may hit it at Polar Bear on the way back. When you come into the dining hall, it's going to be somewhat like a restaurant that they're going to ask you in the windows, is this for here or to go, right? And if it's for here, which means you're going to eat in the dining hall, on the tables on the porch, or we're setting up an additional outdoor dining facility outside. So we're going to have a big tent, much like the Clam Shack at the Trading Post. If you're going to eat in the dining hall proper area, then you'll get a regular plate. It'll be buffet through the window. And then there's self-serve plastic forks and stuff, so nobody has to touch any of the other stuff, and you'll eat there. If it's to go, we're going to have a clamshell, and they'll take your food and put it in that way. You grab what it is, then you can go back to your campsite. If you wish, you can go, picnic on the lawn somewhere else, or that type of thing. So breakfast and dinner are going to run that way, the way lunch has in the past. And we've reconfigured the dining hall and the servery itself in order to have multiple service windows. And so not to have a backup of any sort. In every spot, when you come in, there's going to be a hand sanitizer piece, sanitize your hands, and then you'll get handed your plate afterwards. And there's a lot more prepackaged items than we've had before. So in the past, we've had very much, the peanut butter and jelly bar, all that. So we're going to accommodate that, but it's not going to be as freewheeling as it's been before. We're going to have I think they're called Uncrustables, kind of the prepackaged, that type of thing available. We'll still have yogurts for breakfast. We'll have that type of stuff, but it's going to be prepackaged. We'll still have baked goods, so like muffins and all that are going to be prepackaged. And we've been experimenting here during staff week. So I do see the question about the waiters come up. What we're going to do is ask that you still assign waiters, but the role is going to change a little bit. Is that at a set time, and we're going to confirm that for Sunday. It'd probably be at like 8:15. They're going to come in, and you'll have a section of the dining hall just to do a final cleaning and sweeping for breakfast and dinner, not at lunch. Our CIT core usually takes care of that during the lunch piece. And the other shift is, instead of starting our day with colors and then go to the dining hall, or having retreat and then going to the dining hall, it's going to be the opposite. So the last thing that we'll do before the program day ends or starts is to do morning colors and flags, and then we'll dismiss, and presumably scouts will head off to where they need to go from there. So that prevents us from that makes it so that we don't have 200 folks going straight from the parade field into the dining hall, which then gives us that closer quarters than we'd like with that piece.
So I'm sorry, Pat, can you go back through that? Let's just start with breakfast. So with breakfast, it's an open window of time, and then you're going to do raising the colors at a set time. And what would that be? Is that like at 8:30?
So we're looking at 8:30 or 8:45.
Program starts. Okay, so 8:30 would be colors, and that so everybody should have eaten by then and is on the parade field, kind of thing.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you come through for breakfast at 7 o'clock, 7:15, on your way back from Polar Bear, you go to your site, you do your stuff, and then get ready for the day, and then come back to come to the field, colors, and then we dismiss in time.
So you dismiss, say 8:35 or 8:40 or whatever it is, and everybody just goes to so you're basically showing up at colors ready to go to wherever you need to be by 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. And so what time? I'm sorry.
Right, that inverts it. No need to apologize.
No, I'm just gonna go through the day in my head. So what time is breakfast starting at 7? Or I mean,
Correct.
Polar Bear's at 6:30, so they're done by say 6:45, 6:50. So you're starting breakfast at like 7-ish.
So they're doing a hard opening at 7. Their intention is to do a soft opening at 6:45.
I love the fact that we're all doing hards and soft openings. So let's just skip it. That is just fantastic. All right, so okay, I got it. And now lunch is same, come and go as you wish.
Correct. It's going to be the same blocks.
So that's 12 to 1 ish.
Yep. 11:45 to 1. Yep.
11:45. Yeah. Even though okay. And then so tell me are there any waiters for breakfast that are doing any function?
So the role of the waiter is not going to be setting tables and stuff. It's going to be mainly a final cleanup role. So
okay.
You're just like right now, waiters are in the dining hall and wear colors. If you have your 2 or whatever your section's going to be that the steward will tell you on Sunday, they'll just go up and do their sweep and do their cleanup piece to your section at that time. We've inverted everything we've done. We've kind of
got it. No, that's a good idea. So the waiters really clean up so if we're at 5 tables or there's 5 areas or for breakfast or something like that, or whatever that number is. So without the dining hall, all of us being there, are we not getting assigned our kind of block of tables that
Correct.
Has been? Okay. So there's no block. Okay.
There's no block. And, meals are not restricted to just indoors. We're going to have more tables in the outdoors, that outdoor dining area and all that, and just encourage people to wherever works. We're meeting with our health district on Friday. They're doing a walkthrough here on all the stuff, and we're going to determine the number of people per table indoors on Friday. So we'll let you know what that is.
And so there's a question in the chat about Class A's for dinner. So I assume the answer is yes.
Yes, and it's Class A's for evening colors retreat.
Yes. Okay. So when is dinner being served? If everything's in reverse and we're doing the whatever.
Yep. We're looking at opening up at 5 o'clock, and we probably a similar doing colors at 6:30, 6:45, and we'll confirm that with you on Sunday. We're table topping a lot of our theory this week to make sure that it's right. So that's why there's a slight bit of 50 minutes here or there, because we want to make sure we get it right for Sunday. And so that's the overall dining plan as a whole. And I think it's one we feel really confident about, that we're able to socially distant and not have just 200 teenagers on top of each other. And the other piece of this is often I've got a lot of emails about masks. What is our mask policy now? That things have kind of shifted. Yep. And the mask policy is very simply that we are requiring masks indoors, largely the dining hall. Okay. And in occasions where it is impossible to socially distant. Okay. Now I view that to be far and few between. Because the dining hall, again, everybody's on top of each other, even though we're spacing it out. And that is, somewhat of a risk area when we did our assessment. We're working with all of our program areas to set up classroom space that's largely outdoors and be able to spread people out. So we're adding canopies to certain places. So there's more room in handicraft. There's more room in some of our other things. So our goal for this is to be safe first and foremost, but reasonable, understanding kind of where we are. And the sector rules for Connecticut right now are pretty loose. And so the hard and fast place for mass is the dining facility. And if there are situations where folks cannot socially distant or not keep reasonable distance apart, which I rack my brain to think of what programs those might be. Maybe if they're doing some type of first aid training or some cope stuff where you're literally next to each other. But in most cases, in 99%, we have adequate time outdoors to spread out and do that. So that is our mask policy there. We are putting all around camp, in addition to washing hands, having in the dining hall, stations. So when you come up to the window, we're really encouraging everybody do the quick hand thing. And then if you were to touch, something like a juice thing, everybody's in theory sanitize their hands before they touch it, right? So there's no kind of germs or any of that thing. Now, even prior to COVID, getting kids to wash hands before the dining hall was a struggle here. So this is not a huge shift, and maybe kids are a little bit more thoughtful about washing their hands, but we'll see about that. So meal-wise, I think I can only see the first sentence, salad options. Yes. So what we're doing is we're doing a lot more pre-packaging of stuff, and we've been experimenting this week. So there's basically going to be pre-packaged, made by us, side salads and full salads. So if somebody just wants a small salad to go with their, I don't know, Peter, what's your favorite meal?
I'm out. The chicken.
The chicken. Well, if you want a side salad to go with the chicken, you can do that. Or
I folded under the pressure, Pat. I'm so sorry. Shepherd's pie. No, that was not a thing anymore. I don't remember. I don't know, Pat. Stop calling on me. Call on someone else.
So there are single serve options for those things, as well as some of the vegetarian options and stuff we're going to get done up ahead of time on top of that. So that's kind of where that piece is. Other questions about that or COVID specific things? We're going to talk about check-in, which is a pivot from where we've been as well. So the good news to all of this is when we started planning for this 3 months ago, we were all practically wearing hazmat suits and doing the chugga dance. And we've gotten to a point that we can be very, very reasonable, but still have safety precautions in place so kids can have an authentic camp experience rather than something that may feel like camp, but not have some of those tenets that we think are really important. Other questions on any of the COVID type stuff? Okay.
Yeah, Pat, I got one.
Go ahead.
Trading post.
Yes.
That's close quarters inside. So the scouts need to bring masks if they got to go in there, or?
Yes, because it is an air conditioned facility, and we're going to basically say X number of people indoors. As people leave, people can come in. And we are going to try to move some of the stuff, particularly in the evenings, be able to sell outdoors type of thing. So utilize the clam shack part of the clam shack more. So.
Pat, what was the decision about the tenting? Are they to tent individually?
Yep. So that is a decision that we're leaving up to you as a unit. We're not, the state nor the health district nor the BSA has taken a firm position on it. And your scouts and your parents the best. And so the recommendation is you can have 2 people per tent, but have them head to foot. But that's a call that we're leaving up to you to make. And if somebody's not comfortable, they want to bring their own tent, they're more than welcome to do that as well.
So Pat, is there possible to get a count of tents that are in each of the areas?
Perhaps. It's usually the other way around. I'm asking you guys for counts to make sure I can make you guys fit. So I've never been asked the other way around before. Yeah, we can.
We've never tried to do single scouts in the tent before. So.
Yep.
Mike, are you doing that? You're doing single scouts per tent?
We haven't decided. We're actually waiting to see what the policy was going to be.
I got to tell you, Mike, I know you're a big unit too, and just like we are, and Mike and I know each other. We went the other way. We said there's no choice, you're tenting together. I've seen too many bad things happen when scouts are in tents alone. I don't want them alone at night in a tent. We went there, and everybody, we have 30 some odd scouts, and everybody said, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's ultimately, it's up to me, it's up to the parents' decision. I mean,
okay.
Depends on the scout as that we know who we can be alone.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. But we can also bring our own tents too for those who want to.
Yeah, certainly.
So Mike, if you want to shoot me a note afterwards, I can get offline, get that
sure,
that information back to you as far as that goes.
Because I do have a couple scouts with siblings who with immune problems and stuff like that, where this becomes more of an issue than others. So.
Yep. So we are still asking each unit to identify one adult and one youth as your safety officers. And we're gonna, at the check-in process and orientation, have a kind of have a responsibility role for the safety officer. And that includes the kind of the morning questions, if you will. You're feeling all right, you have your headaches, just all the things that are red flags. We can see if there need to have a further conversation with the health staff or not. And we'll have an adult and youth job description for you for that on Sunday, and it'll be part of the open orientation as to what the health office, the safety officer does. And a lot of it just fits into things you already do in camp, right? You're already through the fire guard program, appoint somebody to make sure there's fire, you have fire buckets, you have latrine duty, all that stuff. And this is just kind of another role to make sure that we're having safe practices and basically not breathing all over each other, which again is a good thing even outside of COVID, as far as that goes. All right, other questions? Okay, so kind of moving on to the fun part of camp is, we are running a full program this summer, which is exciting, and that all of our areas have made accommodations so that we can do the things that we're ready to do. And so part of that is kind of the program piece of it. And so there's the merit badge program that's been published, for months now. There are 2 ways to indicate how scouts are taking merit badges. Because we're on a Black Pug registration system, which is the first time we've done this for summer camp. And I guess maybe I'm asking for trouble, but those of you who may be seasoned leaders, registration in the past as compared to registration this year, is any feedback there?
I think it's fantastic. The only difference is that your Black Pug schedules have the wrong time slots. They don't sync with your merit badge matrix, but the start times are right. The end times are wrong, but the process was excellent.
Okay. Well, being the first time through, we're trying to work through that. So that's good feedback. There are 2 ways you could have reserved or indicated merit badges. There was using the built-in Black Pug registration system that Peter was talking about. But there's also the form, which is basically a Google Doc that we've used for the several years leading up to that. Both of those get you where you need to be as far as that stuff goes. And those of you who are new to Webster, we're not the type of camp that says you need to book your classes, 3 weeks in advance. And once the section's full, to hell with it. We ask for you to make indications so that we can apportion staff properly and make sure that we have enough counselors to fit the need. So basically, if there's scouts whose minds have changed or maybe not the best fit, or it's just not what they want to do based off what they signed up, that's okay. We can handle that. ATVs are the one area that we look at the sectioning very, very closely at. The others, once we're in the ballpark, we're in a good spot. We do have a supply of blue cards, and so on Sunday night we'll bring a stack of them. I have a big bag of them that showed up from the scout shop today.
Yes, because we went to the scout shop to buy some, and they said you took them all.
Yes, I did it. I said, "How many do you have on the shelf?" They said 8 packages of 100. I'll take them. And so. We'll have some available to you for that on Sunday, and we can actually send some down to, during the registration process, which we'll talk later if you want to get ahead of it in that regard. So the merit badge program, again, we'll send them where they need to be. This is Trail to Eagle Week. Weeks 1 and week 6 is Trail to Eagle Week. So we have some special offerings that are not on the menu otherwise, and I just want to give a minute to introduce Sue Phillips, who Sue, amongst many talents, is our chief camp master. In the off season, she coordinates adults in the camp master program for all of our weekend stuff. And she's been part of our adult leader training for many, many years now, as a good friend of Webster supporter, and has, I don't think we've ever formally come to this agreement, but you just kind of assumed some coordinator role for Trail Eagle. And for that, we're appreciative. So Sue, you have the floor.
You declared that at the last meeting. Oh, this is what she is now. Like, okay. But hi, everybody. I'm very excited to see you all and can't wait to see you all for real on Sunday. And I'm sure your kids are excited too. So as Pat said, this is Trail to Eagle Week, which means we have several extra badges offered that aren't part of the normal camp offerings. And they are Citizen in the World at 10, Citizen in the Nation at 11, which is this year the same time as the camp offered Citizen in the Nation session. So we'll figure that out. Communication at 2, Search and Rescue at 2 also, Emergency Prep at 3, Personal Management at 4. I have some wonderful volunteers this year who are going to help me out. Mike Stimson is one, and he's going to do Citizen in the World for me and Search and Rescue, which is helpful. And Craig Smith from Ellington is also going to step in and do Citizen in the Nation. So your kids don't have to spend 4 hours with me. So that is really good. So that being said, these badges are all pretty heavy duty, as you know. And so there's going to be homework. Your kids are going to have to work if they do sign up to take these badges. They need to come prepared. There's a lot to be covered and not a lot of time to do it. So paper, writing implement, and their attention spans as best as they can, sitting next to that lovely lake and listening to American history and whatever else we choose to talk about. Let's see. And sometimes I need additional helpers, especially for communication, that that they need to do a speech, they need to teach a skill, they need to sell products that you have never heard of in the world, they will dream up to try to sell. So it's helpful if I have some folks who would like to come on down so I can divide the group and you can listen and help out with that. It was good. This year, I'll also need a hand possibly with personal management. There are a lot of prereqs to that one. It's very hard to do that one here. And so if somebody would like to come down and give me a hand and listen to the kids' prereqs and go through their notebooks, that would be helpful as well.
All right. Thank you, Sue. I did see in the chat the Special Trail Eagle Merit Badges are on the Base Camp Hub, or if you go to, we have a number of provisional scouts this week who are here just for the Trail Eagle program. You go to that page on the specialty camp section, you can see all of that listed out. And you could enroll in those badges in the bottom of the Merit Badge Enrollment Google Doc as well, which is on the Base Camp Hub and,
right.
And on the front page. So.
Yeah, Pat, on the Trail to Eagle though, were they added to the Black Pug? Because as of a couple of days ago, they were not on the Black Pug.
Yeah, they're not. They did not make it to the Black Pug side. So
you have to do it on the Google Doc, Mike.
Yeah,
that link that I sent to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I was able. That was kind of for everybody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Susan.
Again, that was one of the growing pains with just doing a new system is, oh yeah, that's only for 2 weeks, so it didn't kind of work its way through. But again, it's open to any scouts who are participating in the week, regardless of if they're specifically enrolled in the Trail to Eagle program or not. By long-standing tradition, that's the setup there. Okay, just a few business items we'll mix in here. That unit rosters are there. You can work with Michelle at the Council Service Center or through Black Pug if you want to settle some of your accounts you have there. By the end of the week, we're going to want to settle with you, and you'll meet with Wendy or Haas or Tom Sinkwitz and our business team towards the end of the week. And we just want to make sure that before we all depart, if we owe you money, we know what that is, and we document it. And if you owe us money, we want to make sure that we have a plan there too. So some troops opt to settle the difference. They bring a check to camp and they'll work with Haas and Tom at check-in, or you can settle on Black Pug, whatever you want to do to kind of make that work. Is that your cat, Peter? As far as photos go, so we do have an outside photographer that comes into camp on Tuesdays, and they'll do your true picture. There is a envelopes that we have. We'll hand out on Sunday. We don't collect the money. It's money that goes directly to the photographer. There is on the base camp hub and the document sheet a photograph form that you would either put in the envelope that you provide or that, and you just tell the photographer how many people are buying photos and the dollar amount there, and hand it right to the photographer, and they'll have your pictures here by the end of the week. So that's not something we're the middleman on at all. There is a unit order form, sometimes called the extras. It's the same one that has what the extra fees are for some of our limited merit badges that have some costs that go beyond the normal reasonable kind of camp fee. And basically we're offering commissaries for about 40, ice cream, which are coming in I don't know, 1.5 quarts or something to that effect. I look at my 1 3/4. Yeah, we don't have the 3-gallon tubs on a regular basis. Yep, very good, holding it up. Good job, Chris. And who said you're incorrigible? And watermelon, we often get the question about market price, and it is like lobster to some degree that the price of watermelon does go up and down significantly. So I think they're at about $8 a watermelon right now, and they go all over the place. So that's where that comes from. And if you need or would like them early in the week, if you could indicate it on the meeting packet, the questionnaire that I sent out. Otherwise, if you want to fill out that form on Sunday and bring it out and hand it to the business folks in their team, that works for us too. And that's the basic form that we use to help settle at the end of the week, because maybe you have a scout taking shotgun merit badge and maybe they don't end up going. And so we want to settle up or at the end of the week with that. So it's kind of a working document, but we have included that on the questionnaire. I don't know, Mr. Haskell, if you want to throw anything in on the business piece. He's not here. Oh, so that's a sneaky man, Hoss. He just took a
Pat, if we have a question on that the summary came out, and I have a question or two before camp, can we settle it? Who do I direct the question to? Michelle? Or?
You can settle it with Michelle or one of us here in camp.
Okay.
So if it's a black pug thing, then probably Michelle. But again, we'll settle all disputes here. We're not worried about it.
So Pat, I could talk a little bit about the commissary items, etc. Please take a sheet. If you need something on Sunday or Monday, like ice cream or cake, it's nice if you can send that to us now, and then we can make sure we're ready for you. If you're not looking for anything Wednesday, give it to us on Sunday, and we'll make sure you get taken care of. That's not a problem. So it's the usual cake, etc. You could do that. And you can pick that stuff up with napkins and things. There was an earlier question about silverware. Just so you know, we're eating on plastic silverware all the time, so people aren't handling your silverware. It's not that we can't wash it, it's just that it's difficult to dispense it. So we bought special dispensers that push and hold the utensils out for you. So you just take what you need, whether you're eating in or dining out.
Geez, Hoss,
as far as extras,
that's incredibly gracious of you to frame it that way. The real reason is we're tired of people from Avon stealing the silverware.
It's a sign of the times. So, yes, we have that.
I'll bring the drawer full of forks I have back to you, Pat.
There you go. Thank you. That'll be helpful. So, yes, we are. So we are looking forward to that. The extras, the business office, please check in when you bring the sheets, and you can talk to Wendy or Tom Sinkwitz or myself at the tables for the check-ins. And, we want to accommodate that. Let us know what you want. I think that's all I have on the extras. I do want to make one comment on the photographs, just a helpful hint. from an old troop leader. And that is, designate someone in your troop who's going to collect the fee for each photo. And they have a list they keep. Don't write it on the envelope. You're not getting the envelope back probably, okay? So keep a list with you, and then you know who to give the photos out to. My troop eventually decided they'd buy every family a photo, and then we wouldn't have the hassle. We just included it in the check, in one check, and then everyone got a photo on Friday, and it stopped worrying about it. So just a thought to help out some folks. All right, thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Oz. Kind of moving along, I just want to make a quick note about the First Class Path program, which is our first year camper program. Sometimes there's a lot of questions of, do we need to sign First Class Path folks up for merit badges? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Those two 1 hour skills blocks, are they independent of everything? Basically, scouts that take the First Class Path will show up to the area at 9 o'clock. Oh, hold on a second. Let me mute those guys. All right. At 9 o'clock, and they'll be with the program for the morning. So they'll have the hour of instruction. They'll have an hour where they go to handicraft and work on a handicraft merit badge. They have an hour where they'll go to the waterfront and either take swimming instruction if they're not a blue swimmer or a swimming merit badge. And then they'll return at 2 o'clock and have another hour of instruction of basic scout skills. So it's really good and designed for your crossovers, your youngest scouts. If you have a scout maybe that joined the unit that's a little bit older, but is still not the rank of first class, maybe the better approach is we'll work out some time and some skills with our different areas, outdoor adventure and First Class Path, and be able to get some of that, so that developmentally you don't necessarily have a 15 or 16-year-old with some 11-year-olds. So it's really designed for that piece there. But by enrolling them in the First Class Path, and I know it was confusing in Black Bug, that program is basically 9 till lunch and then 2 to 3 in that regard. And if they were to take a merit badge outside of that time in the evening or something, if it's age appropriate, they could. But the two merit badges are included with the instruction for the First Class Path. We don't sign handbooks. We'll give you at the end of the week a kind of a roster of who's gone through the program and what skills were taught each day. And everybody knows kind of the repetition piece, right? You teach a skill, they practice a skill, and we leave it up to you as the unit leader to do that final test of the skill. It's just not, we don't have the time in camp to do it the proper way. And it's a good way after camp is over for you to review a lot of the skills that they've been taught and do that final testing piece and then sign their books. So it's very much an instruction piece, but we want to also expose them to the merit badge program as well. So any questions with the First Class Path?
I just have one comment, if I may, Pat.
Please.
I'm sorry. I think I'm probably one of the people that did sign up. I have 4 girls doing First Class Path, but I also did put in the merit badges because I was confused about the Black Pug. So for your numbers, just know that my 4 girls, I did both.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay.
And I saw that when I was I didn't know yours in particular, but it all works itself out. For us, again, we want to make sure we have the right number of instructors to fit the group sizes. So that's not an issue at all. So, all right, I want to pass it on to Eric again, and Eric's going to talk a little bit about theme days and afternoon activities as well. And the afternoon activities sign-up form is electronic, because normally we would hand it to you at this meeting. And that was part of the leaders packet I sent out this afternoon. So
Pat, can I ask one last merit badge question before we move on? I'm sorry. Can you, when do we get the list of what classes are taught in what location?
You're going to get a binder on Sunday night.
On Sunday night.
Okay,
I'll be in
refinement meeting, and I'll have that in there, and you can pin it right in your bulletin board.
Perfect. Thank you much.
Or your palm tree as appropriate. All right, Mr. Martin, the floor is yours.
Hello again, everybody. So as you saw, I believe we posted the theme days not too long ago, but there are a few repeats. I think there is a new one there. So Monday we have Maritime Monday, anything nautical, pirate, ship, anything they want to do for that, wear your best stuff. Tuesday at the Tonys. I gotta be honest, I'm not a musical guy, but anything musical related, anything like that. Wednesday is Wild West Wednesday. Anything cowboy, Wild West, all of that stuff. PJ Thursday, that means they need to wear something. Just wear PJs. Freedom Friday, we've had that before. People loved it. Wear any flag or freedom-related apparel to morning flags. And as far as the troop activities list, the afternoon activities list, we are doing an electric and a Google form for it. Oh, and what? Okay, so I was handing it to me right now, so I actually have the list. Troop activities will have a form out that you can fill up and sign up on a Google form. So we'll keep user track of it. And then for the evening activities, we have a lot of the same ones we've been doing. So Monday Night Football is a big hit. We usually do that. When we'll be having a movie night on the field as well. There is Trivia Tuesday down at the Clam Shack. There will be there we go. There will be field games on Wednesday. So again, if they didn't get enough on Monday, they can come back down and keep going. And then Thursday, we're doing the ever favorite s'mores. Stuff will be out. The activities list, I don't have currently, but we will send that out between now and the time you show up.
So it was sent out with your meeting packet. Yep, it was sent out with your meeting packet, and there's actually a descriptions page that
there it is.
The team put together as well to help with those things. So often the guidance people want to know, should I fill out, X number of activities? We have an open program, which means that from 2 to 5 and 7 to 8, all of our program areas are open, particularly the ranges and the waterfronts and those types of things. So, a scout and their buddy or a group of scouts can kind of go to these things. Troop activities are really a chance for troops and patrols to do some stuff as a group. We recommend that you not overschedule yourself. Some units will pick maybe 3 for the week and do them in the afternoon rather than, the 3 to 5 spot doing 1, 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5. You don't want to overschedule yourself. And if, your unit, you want to do it by patrol, if you're a larger unit, by all means, just put it in as, Troop 007 Patrol A, and you pick your schedule, and Troop 007 Patrol B, and we'll kind of work that out. But again, I caution you from over scheduling yourself. And if things change and you want to, not do an event that you had signed up for, or if you want to schedule something different, or you want to do it at a particular day and time, just make a note of that in the bottom of the sheet. And we're pretty flexible with that. And also, more importantly, if there's something you want to do that's not on the menu, there is a spot to write that in, and as long as it's safe and fits within the general mission of scouting, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. So, any questions?
And when does this have to be in by?
So it would be helpful if you could do it before your arrival on Sunday, which gives these guys some time to do it. We want to be able to hand out the latest back to you as your schedule on Monday morning. So, whenever you get a chance to talk to your scouts and your SPLs and kind of figure that out, you have the document. And, as soon as you get it, we'll put it in motion. But you have about a week or so.
So, Eric, I missed Thursday night's activity. What was it?
S'mores, like we have been. So we're going to come out, bring the bucket.
At the campsite. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. At the campsite. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't think we're doing any change.
You said the Clam Shack? What's the Clam Shack?
Clam Shack is the, I guess, rebranded trading post.
It's a fancy name for the trading post.
When did that happen?
Several years ago.
Okay. I missed that. Got it.
That's all right. We don't think any less of you.
Yes, you do.
All right. The next thing, we are offering adult leader training again this year. We're offering Scoutmaster specifics as well as introduction to outdoor leader skills. And we're going to have that for leaders who may want to take advantage of your time in camp to earn that training. So Mike Holcomb and his team is going to be coordinating that throughout the course of the week. So he'll have a huddle with folks that are interested to do that on Sunday night as part of our last minute program refinement meeting and that piece of it. So if anybody has any interest, we'll be gauging that, so you can talk to your leaders, particularly your new ones, to see if they want to do training. We're also going to continue doing CPR training as well as some other things. And if there's a particular need you have when it comes to training, please let us know. We've offered the Troop Committee Challenge in the past. We've offered youth protection in-person sessions. So again, we have some availability in working with the Council Training Committee for any adult leader training to take advantage of that time while you're here at camp to do that. So that's going to be available once again. The next kind of two things in the agenda, and then we'll leave it open to for as long as anybody wants to chat, is talking about check-in and our ATV program. So I think I'll hand it back over to Mr. Haskell again, just to talk about kind of the ATV program and make sure that scouts that are coming to camp are prepared to do that, because we participate with the ASI program, which means some of the prereqs and permission forms are not BSA specific. They're part of the ASI. So Mr. Haskell.
Hey, and welcome from the Continental Room in our office here at J. Webster. I'm sitting here, my twin from 40 years ago, a young, exciting staff member, and it reinvigorates it, makes me feel old looking at this white beard. So, hey, but I'm on ATV, so you could be too. It's really a 14 to 18-year-old program is what we're doing. So our 14-year-olds should be taking the E-course. And if you go to Webster.org, under specialty programs, you can click on ATV and the links are there. So the E-course is an electronic course of about 2 hours, and the scouts take it and they get the nomenclature and the safety rules and how to behave, tread lightly, which is like the leave no trace for vehicles in the woods. So they get exposed to all that, which gives us greater flexibility in the teaching of ATVs. As you know, we try not to, we try to let as many ATVs as we can get in. And so we will try to accommodate everyone. But the E-course makes it happen, and they should bring the certificate or at least have a photo they can show or an email to us at camp if it has to be that way. There are regular forms that you've been filling out. There's a liability form for Connecticut Rivers Council and Jane Webster. There's a liability form for the CVIA ATV people who provide the program and also arrange for us to get most of our vehicles free as loaners. And there's a new COVID-19 liability form, and that's also for the SVIA because they're offering training during the COVID time. So they've asked for a third form. And I know it's a lot of paperwork. We received some already with the health forms, and my wife just passed that folder to me. But it's important, it's really important that your 14-year-old is 14 by next Monday. Then they can take the course and be legal, okay? I have an August birthday. I know how it is to have a summer birthday, but that's the way the rules are. I want to remind people that they need to be dressed accordingly, which is long pants, long sleeve shirt or a light jacket, boots to cover the ankle bone, and gloves. If they have their own goggles and helmets, we have to inspect it. It has to be a DOT, Department of Transportation, or ANSI helmet. So that's important. I'm seeing a question. If you have a previous ASI E-course certificate, yes, if you completed our program, we'll try to set up a time to do a trail ride with you after a brief review. If you took the E-course but not the S-course or in-person course, we'll accept whenever you've done one, because I know some people must have done them ahead last year and we're disappointed, as we are, okay? So yes, as you have an E-course certificate, that's fine. It's always good to review that. As you know, safety is our highest goal, and we want people to learn the etiquette of being in the woods with those loud machines, and we want them to learn the safety to keep themselves and others safe, and the E-course helps us do that. It also allows us if we need to move, okay? So I think that's it. Is there any question on ATV? You can throw it in the chat like this last one, or I think that's probably the easiest way, unless this one has a burning issue they want to fire out there. Okay. So what, again, I'm watching the chat, and Pat, I'm going to turn it back over to you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Haskell. So the last kind of canned piece here is just to review kind of check-in procedures, and we have pivoted a little bit as well from what you may be used to the norm if you're returning. So our check-in slot time is still going to be the same. We're still going to offer the opportunity for unit leaders to come in the morning, particularly if you have troop trailers or things you want to get them into your campsite before your scouts arrive. We want to make sure also that if you have scouts who are sick, and we don't want them to come to camp, right? So there's this conversation piece to have with your scouts, whatever their gathering point is, that remind them that if they have any COVID-like symptoms or they're not feeling well, that they should stay home. We want to introduce anything into our community. 1 o'clock is going to be the general check-in, although we will entertain if there's you want to bring your unit in a little bit earlier. We'll entertain that with you. We're still going to assign a staff member who's going to be your guide for the day. But the pivot is, instead of everybody going out to the field and then beginning kind of the long tour around camp, is the first spot that you're going to go is back to your campsite, and your guide is going to go with you. And we have Gus and her team has created multiple mobile units, if you will, and your health lodge screening and check-in and meds is actually going to happen in your campsite. Gus and her team are going to split up and kind of make their rounds there and do what we consider to be the first COVID screening, or the first pre-screening piece of the day. So one of our health officers will ask the question, which is the same thing that your safety officer is going to do the rest of the week. They'll accept medications and do a final recheck there in your campsite. Once you've done the recheck piece with the health team, and once they finish with one troop, they'll move on to another. And again, there's going to be 3 mobile units. So it should move fairly quickly through that process. So instead of hanging in a giant pile outside the health lodge, you'll be in your campsite, you'll be getting settled. So there'll be a little bit more time there. And then once you finish your health screening, your guide is going to be given a time to go down to the waterfront and do the waterfront orientation, which is still required even if your unit opted to do swim tests outside of camp. So we on our base camp hub, we have the procedures that if you had access to lifeguards, or some of your leaders are BSA lifeguards, and you're going to administer the swim tests outside of camp, we're still going to schedule you for a time to go to the waterfront and get your waterfront orientation. And you also get scheduled for a time to go to the dining hall and get the dining hall orientation as well. So it'll look a little bit different, rather than just kind of making your way around and then go back to the campsite and have kind of your final setup piece, is where we're asking you to start there, and you'll spend a little bit more time at the beginning of the check-in process than maybe at the end of it there. So we've tabletopped it today. We feel that that's going to be good to kind of keep everybody moving and not to have huge lines of congregating from there. The day will end with the dinner slots, evening colors retreat. We will still hold an after dinner last minute program refinement meeting in person with adult leaders. We'll get a chance to put faces to our staff, particularly our area directors and our division heads. And the scouts will do a shooting sports orientation. And then we will begin the opening campfire outdoors in a manner which we've done in the past as well. So that is the only pivot to the check-in process, is that you're going to do your health recheck in the campsite. And so, some of you in the past have got it honed right down to, they show up in their bathing suits with their towel, you go to the campsite, we drop the trunk, and then boom, you want to be the first down to the waterfront and through the health lodge. We're just asking everybody, well, we're going to take it a little bit slower, go to the campsite, spend some time to get settled, check in with the health staff, and then your guide will take you to time period to get to all that in the afternoon. We feel like with the complement of camp and the number of units that it should work pretty smoothly when it comes to that. Just a couple quick things I wanted to review is we are still holding, after meeting with the health district, we're still holding a no visitors policy during the week. And Friday night is going to be our parents' night as well. So we're still trying to avoid having, people come into camp who may not have been screened and that type of thing on a regular basis. Now, that does not count. We know that some units are doing rotating leadership, totally understand how that works. We know that stuff does come up, and we'll ask people who come in to drop stuff off or come to the office, check in here, and then we'll kind of make arrangements there. There may be some exceptions, but we're asking you not to do like a Thursday night troop night during some wars like some of you have done before, because we just want to keep the sheer, once we create the bubble, we want to keep it. Friday is our parents' night and our closing. We're planning to do the kind of the usual routine there. The pass and review. We'll do some awards at Colors. We will have the barbecue. It'll all be clamshelled there. We'll have spread out seating, and then the closing. The units will have the option, as you've had before, to depart after the closing ceremonies on Friday, which is usually around 8:30, or if you want to stay over until Saturday morning and the continental breakfast there, that piece hasn't changed as well. So with that, I just want to kind of open it up to all of you for any questions or thoughts that you might have in order to make your week successful. So let's see. I see Nicole has her physical hand raised, or she's doing the scout sign. I can't tell. Nicole,
that was 4 fingers, not 3. Couple of questions. With the check-in drop-off, in the past, we've gone to the main parking lot. I'm guessing you want everybody to go to the main parking lot. Are you going to have trucks there to load the trunks onto to take to the sites? Or are we going to be expected to take them ourselves?
Yep, great question. So we basically kind of offer both. Sometimes troops have, you have trucks that you consolidate your own gear and bring it to the site, and you're welcome to have a vehicle go back and forth. We also have our ranger staff available too. So if your parents unload the trunks by your recycle bin in the field, just let us know, and our ranger staff will load it up and bring it to your campsite and drop it off. If you have the means, you're welcome to have a vehicle back and forth. We want to keep the roads open and make sure vehicles can get by and it not be too clustered there. But we do have flexibility with that. So that's a great question.
Perfect. I'm going to take my ticket now because I'm going to need a Ranger truck. I know that.
Okay, you got it.
The second question I had, because you're flip-flopping the times for flat colors and so forth, for the Friday night, the dinner wouldn't be first and then the colors, like you're going to do it. How are you going to do it, I guess?
Yep. So Friday, correct. Friday is going to be similar. We're just going to basically redo how we serve on Friday to deal with the larger crowd. So Friday is going to be at normal. There'll be multiple kind of serving points there to cut down on the biggest crowd. And we're basically following the advice and the sector rules when it comes to like county fairs, because Friday night's a big carnival.
That's not quite my question. My question is, will the colors be first and then the dinner?
Yes.
Okay. So we're doing it like our normal years, not this year.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Just so I know what time to tell my parents to come.
Yep. You got
5 o'clock-ish, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Mike.
Yeah, just a quick question. So for scouts taking fishing merit badge, do you all have gear there at the camp, or should they plan on bringing their own?
We do have some communal gear. Many scouts bring their own. Frankly, they take care of their own stuff better, but we do have some gear.
Okay, thank you.
That don't but want to participate. Yep. And by the way, the fish, we had a fishing derby this year. For a year without camp, these fish are ready to go. So good fishing. So Brett, floor is yours.
So we got a troop trailer, but we're in site 11 and 12, so we won't be able to get it out there, but we want to put it in the parking lot someplace. Is that okay? Or is there someplace down we can put it?
You actually can get it out there. You just bring it up the fire road.
Fire road's going to beat it up pretty bad, though, isn't it? I was a little worried about doing that.
No, troops do it all the time. And
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
You're not adventurous?
Well, I don't know. I'm not the one pulling it. If we didn't want to pull it up the fire road, is it better to leave it in the parking lot, or could we put it someplace down there by the entrance?
You could leave it in the parking lot, but I really think you'll have no problem getting it out there. That's pretty standard.
Okay.
And so if somebody wants to, whoever your leader is or parent that's pulling the trailer, if they want to come early, we can throw them on a cart with a ranger and they can run the path ahead of time. But it's fairly standard that troop trailers go out there.
Okay. All right, cool. Good deal. Pat, other thing, sorry. One of our scoutmasters may not be able to make it, but he's your primary contact. If I email you other contact information, can you get us all on the main distribution? Because right now he's getting everything.
Yes, we can do that. And if you wanted to, when you fill out the, I can actually email me and I will forward you what he would have gotten this afternoon.
We got it from him already. I just want to make sure that if he accounts somehow, then we'll get everything we're supposed to get. So.
Yep. You got it.
Thank you.
You'll notice on the questionnaire, we did add an additional question we've not asked before. And we asked for the contact name and number of somebody associated with your troop that's not at camp, be it a committee chair or somebody at home. And that's just for our own, if there's an emergency, there's something, and we just need to get a hold of somebody outside of the camp community. We've asked for that. And that's kind of a preventive measure on our part. So that's where that question came from. So Tony, sir.
Yeah, hey Pat. Just got a quick question on merit badges. If we need to make changes to them, are we just not going to do it, or do you want us to go on to that, that Google Doc and make changes? I don't know. I don't want to mess you guys up.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, first of all, send scouts where they need to go, and we understand things are hectic for you. If there's a number of changes, have them resubmit on the Google Doc. Put it in again. If they're just, hey, instead of taking basketry, they're taking rabbit raising at 9 o'clock, that really doesn't concern us much as well. So.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
There's a discussion going on with the people behind me about if rabbit raising is actually a merit badge or not. So. Hoss says it's a hair raising discussion.
You have a question about
Michael.
Meds. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right, Peter. Cut Michael off.
Yeah, Pat, I just want to check. I couldn't remember. Is there a room out at Site 3 for a trailer?
Yes. There's a spot right at the entrance of Site 3 for you to pull a trailer off the road and have access to it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. No, thank you. Other questions?
Hey, Pat, Mr. Dunn has a question. I noticed it twice also, is looking for a reminder on information on dietary restrictions. How should they contact John and make sure that meals are handled correctly?
Yep. Thank you, Chip. There are two ways to handle kind of dietary restrictions. One is some of you made mention of it on your health forms, and Gus and her team made note of that. If there's on the end of the questionnaire doc that I sent out today, there's a special accommodations section. So that's not a bad spot to make note of it as well. And John is available. His email is?
It's we'll put it up in the chat.
Okay, they're going to put John's email on the chat right now. I believe it's chefair@gmail, but they'll confirm that and throw that in there as well. Okay. Yep, there it is.
There's another question. Do parents need to stay to check in meds at the site?
So the answer is no, unless there is something complicated, something that they need to have a conversation with the member of the health staff is, and most likely they've had what do you call it, the individual care plans and that type of stuff there. So they don't have to if everything's in order. But I know that sometimes parents, that is a concern of theirs and they want to have that conversation. We totally understand that. And they're able to do that. And again, because the parents have come in, if they're going to go to the campsite, that's great. We don't want, different groups of cohorts and parents and little siblings wandering around camp with the rest of them and connecting with other cohorts until we've done that once over pre-screening review piece there. So, but yes, they certainly can go to the campsite with the rest of the unit as they traveled with. So let's see, Bruce, how are you, sir?
Good. Yeah, quick question. So we're Troop 146 in West Hartford. We're supposed to be in Site 7B.
Yep.
B as in Bob, but when I passed by there last night, it looks like 7B has not been set up yet.
Yeah, so we're day 2 into staff week here. And rest assured, your site will be ready to go when you arrive on Sunday. Or it's a hazing prank we play on West Hartford people. And we got 2 of them to choose from this year. So let's see, Brett, you're up again.
Yeah, sorry. There's usually a set of questions that we have to ask scouts, even before COVID, right? There was a list of questions we had to ask them about. Are they feeling well today? Blah, blah, blah. Where's that? Yep. Is it in the binder when we get it?
You're going to have it at check-in, and I just made a note. I'll push it out to you guys ahead of time so you have that tomorrow. So that's a good planning piece. So I made a note of that.
Good, thanks.
Yep. All right, other questions or thoughts? Mr. Lynch.
Yeah, I just have a quick question on the name tags. Are you going to do that again this year? Typically, we've signed up for those at this meeting at the camp.
Yep, in my email on the pre-camp leader packet link, the questionnaire, one of the questions we ask is to spell out name tags on that sheet.
Must wear a shirt.
So that is there. Yep, you should be good to go. Other questions? I will stay here all night and tell knock-knock jokes if that's what you need for to feel good and ready for camp. Other questions or comments? All right, I am available if you get up tomorrow and think of something. Shoot me an email. Full disclosure, we are having our camp phone system replaced on Thursday. So right now we literally have a cordless phone that Mike Holcomb is tired of being around. And so, if you call in, it's been kind of difficult for us, but I will throw in the chat my cell phone as well. And feel free, even if it's a quick question, just to shoot a text. If you got a question, we'll do our best to get an answer for you as far as that goes. But, we've been kind of 2 years in the making here. We've been trying to do our best to get ready for camp. We feel really good about it on our end, and we're hoping that you guys are in a great spot. And in some cases, we can kind of rebuild scouting here after a lot of units had struggled during COVID. So I can't wait for Sunday to come around as well. So I will hang out for a little bit if everybody wants to chat more. Otherwise, thank you all and have a great night.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Good night. Thanks.
Thank you. We're really excited.
Excellent.